Hey guys, after my last video that I did on George and Maria, a lot of comments about how someone should leave somebody. And I'm not talking about how you should break up with somebody, but in what position should you leave that girl? You come here to the Philippines, you find a girl, you move in together, you're having a life together, and for some unexpected reason, you're called back to the US, or you just get tired of being here in the Philippines and you want to go back to the US. You don't want to be here anymore. Or worst case scenario, you pass. What's the best way to leave your Filipina? How should you leave her? Well, I was talking with Janet and I said, well, you can leave a Filipina, one, with money. You can leave her with a house and a lot. You can leave her with a child. You can also leave her with a K-1 visa. And I'll talk about all four of these potential ways of leaving your Filipina, how to leave her better off than how you found her. These are some options that you have if you're in a committed relationship with somebody. If not short term, I'm not talking about 6 months, you've been with them for a year. If it's been short term, just leave them a little bit of cash to get back on their feet. Give them a motorbike or get them back to their home village or their home province if it's short term. But I'm talking about if you're in that committed long-term relationship. The girl is your wife now. And as you notice, more and more YouTubers out there, they've come here and they said, man, I'm a bachelor, I'm having the bachelor life, I'm gonna go out, I'm going to this island, this city, and this island, and I'm gonna see who I can score on. Yeah, that's great. But once you get past all that and you want to settle down, and your plan when you came to the Philippines was to find a woman to be with for the rest of your life, somebody you can enjoy life with, somebody who's going to take care of you, and somebody you're going to take care of. You're exchanging, and it's a transactional situation, that you're exchanging your ability to produce income, support the family. Your job is the finances. Her job is to take care of you, your home, your livelihood, cook for you, clean for you, make sure you're comfortable, and that's what they do. And they're happy to do that. It's not a negative thing. It's not. It's not to be looked at like you're looking down on the girl. It's just the traditional role that the girls have here, and they like that role. They enjoy that role. It makes them feel that they're contributing to the family. You know, whenever we do something in our house, and I say, Jana, let's go do this. She goes, no, I'm not finished with my job yet. And her job, maybe she's mopping the floor, doing dishes, doing homework with PJ. She calls jobs. It's her job. It's her chores. It's what she does around the house. Me, if I pick up a broom to sweep or I go to the sink to wash dishes, she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. My job is exactly what my job is, to make sure the bills are paid, to make the tough decisions around the house and bring money in. And if I wasn't retired, it'd be I'm going to work and coming home from work. And the woman is at home taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, taking care of everything involved with being a housewife. And that's not a dirty term. Back in the US now, housewife is a negative term. People don't like that anymore. I'm a domestic engineer. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm not a housewife. Whose parents, if you're in your 60s now and 70s, whose parents were where the father went out and worked every day? Maybe he had 2 jobs, and the mother stayed home. She was a housewife. She wasn't a stay-at-home mom. She was a housewife. Her job was to take care of the house. And there's nothing wrong with a woman staying home and taking care of the house. There's nothing wrong with a woman staying home taking care of her family. That includes cleaning, doing the laundry, shopping, cooking. Her job is to take care of the family. And now you're here in the Philippines. It's the same thing as it was back when the U.S. had traditional values. Here in the Philippines, they have traditional values. Being a housewife is not a dirty word. And I get really tired of everybody saying, oh my God, that's a transactional relationship there. There's no love, there's no caring. Of course there's love, and of course there's caring, and of course it's transactional. I'm spending the money. Janet doesn't have any money. Your girlfriend probably doesn't have any money extra. You know, your girlfriend probably doesn't have a really good job. And I'd rather have Janet at home taking care of PJ, taking care of me, taking care of the house, and letting us enjoy the life that we want to live. She has her job, I have my job. She has her responsibilities, I have my responsibilities. And even the son has his responsibilities. He has to take care of things. He has to clean things. He has to do things. He has to study. His job is to learn at school and be the best student that he can be. In a family unit, everybody has a job. And none of the jobs are trivial. All the jobs are important. And there's nothing wrong with that. But how are you going to leave your better half if you die or you break up and you have to go back to the U.S.? And I'm always going to say back to the U.S. because that's my home country. I know how things work in the U.S. You leave them with money, it's a good thing to do. I think the shorter amount of time you're together, more leaving her some money is a great option. The longer you're together, you should be making plans. You should be thinking about her future after you're gone. I'm not saying put every nickel you have into a piece of property or anything, but you should be thinking about her future, her well-being when you're long gone. The two of you should have this conversation. She might not like this conversation. Janet hates talking about life after death, but it's a topic that needs to be talked about. How are you going to leave your girl? How are you going to leave your wife? Guys, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And I know I'm going to get all the haters out there who's going to say, it's just transactional, you're paying for sex. Dude, it's cheaper to pay for sex than to have a wife or girlfriend. Now, I'm a firm believer, if you leave your Filipina money, and that's all you leave her, it's just a matter of time before the family nitpicks at her, takes the money away from her a little bit at a time. The girl you're with, chances are she's got a great heart, or you might not be with her. You know, she is a dependable, loving, caring girl, and you're spending years with her. Now, guys, I'm not talking about if you've been with a girl for a couple months, a year or less, you don't feel that long-term bond, you're just having a good time together. That's a whole different scenario. We're talking about a lifetime companionship partner that you've hooked up with here in the Philippines. And as I was saying, if you leave her money and she goes back to live with her family, say you leave her, you know, 500,000 pesos, 10 grand US. The family's slowly going to nickel and dime her. You know, they're going to, Ate, I need help with school. The sister, you know, a medical bill. Maybe they need a new motorcycle. Many of the reasons where you guys think you get scammed, your Filipina's always going to be asked by the family because they know she has money. And she has a good heart. She can't say no, knowing that she has a large sum of money in the bank. And then after 5 or 6 years, it's all going to be gone. So no matter what you do, leaving just money, it's better than nothing. Trust me, it's better than nothing. It's a great alternative to no planning at all. If something's totally unexpected, you're going to leave her money because you haven't had time to plan, you haven't had time to fulfill any of your plans. But money, it's just not going to last through the lifetime. The second option is you leave her a baby. Now, I can't talk for Europe and Australia and other Asian countries, even Canada. I don't know how it works. But in the US, if you have a baby, an American, you have a child, foreign-born child, that child is eligible for your Social Security benefits, survivor benefits. This child will be getting benefits until they're 18 years old, maybe until they finish school. And that child also will be a US citizen and be entitled to a US passport. So that means when that child gets older and you're gone, you know, if you've passed, that child's receiving financial benefit, you know, a percentage of your Social Security. That money is used by your wife or your girlfriend at the time to support the family, her and her baby. Maybe she has another son or daughter, but that money comes in very handy. And it's a great way to secure their future. And by that child having a U.S. passport, at some point in time, that child can go to the U.S., can get a job, go to university in the U.S., and maybe even bring his mother there later, or his other siblings. So it's a great advantage if you have a child. I'm not a big advocate of being 70 years old and having a baby. But if it happens, take advantage of it for the family that you developed here. If God's will that you do have a child, make sure you sign up for the Social Security benefits. Notify the embassy. Do everything you can. Get a passport. Do everything you can to have that child recognized as a U.S. citizen and receiving all the benefits that that child should receive. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments from guys saying, oh my God, we have to support more foreign people. You got old guys going over to the Philippines and having a baby. You're burdened on the Social Security system here in the U.S. Dude, if it happens with me or anybody else, we've paid into this system for years and years, decades. 50 years I've been paying into Social Security. So any benefit I get from Social Security is earned. And that's the same thing for anybody over here who is in their 60s and eligible for Social Security. They're entitled to these benefits. And maybe you're 50 when you have this child. So the child will be 12 years old, and say you pass. For whatever reason you pass, that child's still going to be eligible for survivor benefits. So that's a different way to leave a woman. It's not, the best way in my opinion, but it is a solid way to leave, and she'll be taken care of somewhat. The third option that a lot of people are talking about is get the girl a K-1 visa. Get her over to the U.S. Get her into the U.S., get her a green card, have her spend 5 years there so she's eligible for your survivor's benefits. I don't know about that. I'm 70 years old. Can I go to the U.S. now with Janet and spend 5 years there? Do I want to spend 5 years there? Some of the options thrown around at the drunk table. I was sitting in Cebu outside Ayala Mall, and we were all talking. Some of the guys were drinking. That you should take your girl to the U.S. Find her a place to live. Get her situated. Have her get a job. And she just stays there for 5 years. And you come back to the Philippines. And then after 5 years, you go back and get her. And then she has her, U.S. citizenship. She has Social Security benefits. She's a U.S. citizen and has a U.S. passport, and all's right with the world. But at 70, do you want to spend 5 years alone? That isn't the purpose of coming here to the Philippines, to spend 5 years alone while your girlfriend or your wife is back in the States working at Burger King or McDonald's or Walmart and trying just to qualify for survivor benefits and qualify to become a U.S. citizen. It's just not the life I foresee for Janet. If it happens that way, it happens, but I don't see it at all. The other and final way that you can leave your Filipina better off is buy her a lot. The thought has crossed my mind, if I left Janet, how can I take care of her? What can I do for Janet that will be a benefit for her and her son in the future, and I really don't have to worry about it? Well, one of the things to do is buy a lot that's big enough for 2 small houses. That'd be 1,000 square meters or 1,500 square meters, maybe bigger. But if I can't afford to build a house and you buy the lot, when her son turns 18, he can roll his sleeves up. He can get his hands dirty, and he can go about working to build a house for the 2 of them. And that's something that by leaving them land, there's many, many Filipinas here who have land but don't have money. There's many Filipina families that are here. They're land rich, but they're cash poor. And that's the same thing back in the US. There's many people who own a house, and it's not a great house, but they own a house, you know, somewhere. If they sold it and they spent all the money from the proceeds, they'd be homeless. So they're better off holding on to the house and, you know, trying to get by the best they can, you know, until something better comes along. But here in the Philippines, land is precious. There's only so much land. You know, Mark Twain says, God's not making any more. So here in the Philippines, there's only so much land. The prices keep increasing here. The price of land keeps going up and up and up. Since I've been here, the local area around Valencia has gone from like 1,500 pesos a square meter to over 3,500 pesos a square meter in certain areas. I've seen 5,000 a square meter already, if it's along a developed road. And if you're financially able, all this has to do with your finances. If you're financially able to build a house, then do so if you can afford it. Do so if it's not going to be a constraint to your finances, your resources, your future emergency funds. Remember, don't give up that nest egg of cash that you have. Don't use it up, just in case you need to be sent back to the U.S. for some medical emergency, or you have a major medical emergency here and you got to fly to Thailand and pay for a bypass or a stent put in or something, you know, some sort of treatments. Don't whittle away your emergency money. But if you have the extra 10, 20, 30,000 US, you can build her a small, simple house. Something that she can enjoy later in life. Maybe make it nice enough that you could live in there also. But it's a topic that needs to be talked about. How are you going to leave your girl? How are you going to leave your wife? Guys, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And I know I'm going to get all the haters out there who's going to say, it's just transactional, you're paying for sex. Dude, it's cheaper to pay for sex than to have a wife or girlfriend. So until next time, thanks for watching.